Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I randomly had a thought, and it was basically me recalling my childhood. So, some of my newer viewers may not know this, but older viewers will know, because I've talked about it before, that I have collected dolls basically since I could walk. So, my mom is a doll collector. She basically got me into them. She always wanted me to be super into doll collecting just like she is. She bought tons and tons of Barbies, and they were initially meant for me, and I just was never that into Barbie. Over the years, I've grown to appreciate it much more than I used to when I was younger, but while I was growing up, my mom would have me basically try out different doll lines to see which ones I was into, but nothing really stuck with me until Monster High came out. That was really when I became a doll collector full-fledged. But while I was a child, I had tons of different dolls from different lines, and I remember quite a few of them fondly. So today I wanted to discuss, my top 5 favorite underrated doll lines. Doll lines that either kind of have faded from public conscience, or maybe they're still in public conscience, but not enough, pretty much. I don't know. Basically, I just want to count down 5 doll lines that I absolutely still love, even if I don't collect them anymore. I just think it seems like it'd be fun. So, with that, let us begin. Also, real quick, I want to apologize for using the term top 5, because this actually isn't a top 5. I don't want to rank these doll lines so much as I do just talk about them. So, I am going to, put them in a order 1 to 5, but please don't pay much mind to it. I'm not saying any of these lines are better than the other. I more just want to discuss them because, I like them. So yeah. The first line I want to talk about is Novi Stars. I got into these right when they had first came out, but unfortunately lost interest very early into their run. I believe the last doll that I ever got from the line was Nidalite. Nidalite? I genuinely don't know how to say her name. When I was younger, I used to call her Nidalite because it says that's her name. But it might have been Nita. Maybe it's Nidalite. Not sure. But I had the original 4 dolls. To this day, I actually still own some, but none of them are my originals. I bought a new Universe, I bought a new Ari Roma from my flea market, and I bought an Ally Electric from the local thrift store. I don't have Metallic anymore, but I always did like her. Though I will admit these dolls did unfortunately not have very good hair quality. I believe they had poly. But the dolls were so cute. Similar to Bratz, they're unarticulated, and I think it worked well for them. They were really cute. The dolls overall were very well made, and I really enjoyed the 4 that I had. Metallic was able to talk, Ally Electric lit up, Universe had water and glitter inside of her legs, and Ari Roma smelled like bubblegum. And she still does, actually. The one I got from the flea market, she still smells like bubblegum to this day. Pretty crazy. Nidalite had to have been one of my favorites. I absolutely adored her. I remember getting her for Christmas and being so excited. And she's always one that I wanted to buy back just because I miss her so much. I loved having her. She's so cute. I think I still have some of her pieces. Specifically her headphones. I still have those. I had her pod for a few years, but I didn't have the dolls. I just donated the pod, and I miss her so badly. I still to this day don't know why I got rid of my Novi Stars, because I always really liked them. Right away at the launch of the line, I believe these 4 were intended to be main characters, because they released a beach line for them, and the only one from this line that I ever got was Universe, because she was my favorite. These dolls were missing their signature gimmicks. I believe, at least. Ally Electric didn't seem to light up. I don't think this Metallic could talk. And Ari Roma may have still been scented. I just feel like that's something easy for them to do. But I remember this Universe did not have any water or glitter in her legs. I could be misremembering, but I recall that being the case. There were also fashion packs for these 4 characters. But with the release of the second line, there's so many Novi Stars that I can't even show you all of them. It'll just take too long. They started to get more unique with their character design, and unfortunately that was where I lost interest for some reason. I never heard about the new releases. I think I would see them in stores, but I was too distracted by Monster High. Or was it Lalaloopsy? What was I collecting at that time? I think it was 2013 when these were coming out, so I'm gonna say it was Monster High, because that was the year that I first started collecting Monster High seriously. Yeah. So let's compare the first line of the dolls to one of the last few that they released. So this was their first wave, the first ever ones, and this was their last wave. Their designs started to get awesome. Like Frostina Sprinkles, Carmela Sweet, Justina Hour, Doa Deer. These 4 look incredible. They're also incredibly expensive because I don't believe they were ever sold inside the US. So distribution was kind of bad on them just because they were released at the end of the line. But these were so cool. Frostina Sprinkles is actually kind of reminds me of Universe, just because they both seem to have the gimmick of something being in their legs, like water and something in their legs. She also has 4 legs, similar to a character from Series 2 called Mallytasker. Kind of like Multitasker. They all have names that are, like, in a way, a pun. Justina Hour, the green one, it says that her eyes move. And Doa Deer is fuzzy, and Carmela Sweet is made of a very soft plastic. It says she's gummy soft. These 4 are incredible. If I ever found one at the flea market, I'd probably flip my shit. They're so cool looking. Novi Stars were so good. These 2, Vera Tebre, the pink one, and Mimi Mirais, the not pink one. Those would have to be my dream ones, my grail Novi Stars. If I ever got my hands on either one of them, I would, oh my god, I would never complain about anything again. They're so cool. Novi Stars is overall just an incredible line, and I would love to see MGA bring it back someday. Like repros of the original characters, new releases. There was a ton of unused, like, stuff, like model work for this line. I think they were working on a Dragon Girl, and it just never happened because the line was canceled, and it's just so unfortunate. This line definitely deserved better, and I would really like to see a revival for it someday. The next line I want to talk about is My Scene. I actually remember having a bunch of these when I was younger, but I'm not sure what specific dolls I had. I have no memory of any specific dolls. I have no idea. Interestingly enough, though, most of the time when I'm into a doll line, I'm usually not into the soft reboot era, if they ever do a soft reboot of any kind. But with My Scene, the dolls that I like most come from the soft reboot, where they changed the characters' faces to have these forward-facing glances rather than the side glances. Normally I love the side glances, but on My Scenes, they're still good, but I find myself much preferring the forward-facing dolls. So the original run of My Scene featured Noli, Delancey. Who's that one girl that they killed off after like 3 dolls? She's got red hair. It was Kenzie, this poor girl. She was there for like a year and then they stopped using her. It was so sad. But Kenzie was there for a while. And basically My Scene never had a whole lot of characters, but they did have a lot of dolls. And in the soft reboot, Noli just kind of fell off. They kind of stopped using her unless it was outside the US. And Delancey was redesigned from being blonde with kind of like strawberry blonde streaks to being brunette with occasional tinsel streaks. So she was kind of the blueprint for Cleo Denial, if you think about it. Which makes sense since it's a Mattel brand. Usually Mattel uses what they have. And I'm guessing Cleo probably took minor inspiration from Delancey, just in the sense of the tinsel in her hair. There were a lot of great releases from My Scene prior to this soft reboot era, though, and Masquerade Madness is one of those releases. This is my pretty much all-time favorite Chelsea. I adore her so much, and she's one of the only dolls I can say that I spent over $50 on, mostly because she was a gift, so you know. My Scene was a great line. This line here is called Golden Bling, and it has to be one of my favorites. I do have to say, though, these dolls have been rebodied. They're on fashionista bodies. My Scenes were never articulated. Like, this is Nia, one of the new characters that was released towards the end of the line. All of her dolls are hard to find because towards the end of the line, Mattel would just kind of start dumping their product off in other countries, not really selling it in the US if it wasn't doing well here. So a lot of these dolls are very easy to find internationally. That's what I've been told by My Scene collectors, at least. But, like, it's not to say that they're easy to find, it's just that they're more common there than they would be here. And that's the case with most of Nia's dolls. She's kind of hard to find, but she's cute. So, yeah. My favorite Mycene character is Chelsea. And I'm not sure if I had any of her dolls growing up, but weird tangent. But you see that little dog that she has laying next to her? My dad had that in his office at work for so long, and I was like, oh, where'd you get that? And I thought he might have gotten it from, like, a lot that I had gotten, because I'd gotten a lot recently, and I was throwing stuff out from it that was just, like, trash that I didn't need, and that little dog was in there. And he's like, oh, no, I've had that for years. And I was like, what? So that just, like, makes me wonder, like, did I have this Chelsea as a child? Is that why I'm so attached to her? I have genuinely no idea. But, yeah, I have a lot to say about Mycene. It's a very good line. And all the characters were nice. I would have liked to see Chelsea make it to the forward-facing Eyes reboot era. But, you know, they just kind of killed Kenzie off. Barbie used to be a part of the line. Like, here, I'm pretty sure this is one of the only Barbies they produced with the forward-facing eyes before they swapped her out for a look-alike named Kennedy. That's the weirdest thing Mycene ever did. Mattel just decided, we don't want Barbie to be a part of Mycene anymore, even though Mycene was originally a Barbie spinoff. So, in the soft reboot, to make it its own thing, they swapped out Barbie for Kennedy. And it's basically the same girl. They look exactly alike, which is, like, weird. Like, could you imagine if your friend was moving away, and then you bump into another girl at a party, and she looks just like your friend, so y'all decide, oh, you're gonna be our friend now. And it's gonna be exactly the same. It's gonna be like she never left. Do you know how fucking creepy that is? But that's what Mycene did, so yeah. Overall, Mycene was a cool line. Even if it was only made to compete with Bratz, I still think it turned out pretty cool. And after a while, I just think the dolls were cool. I like them a lot. The next line I want to talk about is Lalaloopsy. Oh my god, these things ran my life after a certain point. I remember wanting to get into them so badly when they first came out, but I was scared to, because you know what else came out around the same time? Coraline. And it scared me so much. I was horrified of anything that had buttons for eyes, and I ended up avoiding the original 8 and every subsequent release afterwards. And, I regret it so much. Eventually, I did end up caving in, and I don't remember who my first Lalaloopsy doll was, actually. Normally, I'm able to remember that stuff, like when it's more recent in my memory, but I have no idea. I feel like I got into it around the time that Cloudy Sky, April Sunsplash, like that wave came out. No, that wasn't her name. Scoop's Waffle Cone. I remember their names. I'm insane. I can name all of the ones in this picture. Purple hair is Pillow Featherbed. Yeah, Pillow Featherbed, she was the first. Pink hair is Crumbs, Sugar Cookie. Blue hair, pronouns? I'm sorry, that's my demons. Blue hair is Mittens, Fluff, and Stuff. Yellow hair above her is Spot, Splatter, Splash. The Space Girl is Dot Starlight. The Circus Performer is Peanut Big Top. Blue eyes is B Spells a Lot. And pink hair all the way on the right side with the cat next to her is Jewel Sparkles. I had all of them. I ended up selling B and Dot because I was never that big of a fan of them, which I regret so much now. But they did end up reissuing Dot, so if I ever decide I want her again, I could buy her. By the way, this doll line is like one of the few that I'm talking about today that has had an actual relaunch. Good for them. These are some new characters they introduced, Crumpet Hearts and Teacup Hearts. These are completely new characters. This is like a little pack that I think you can get at Target. It comes with like minis of them. And then this is Stormy Sky, an existing character who had previously only had a release in this relaunch and in a spin-off line called Lalaloopsy Girls. This is one that I own. Mittens, I love her so much. She's adorable. Mittens has always been my favorite. When I first got into collecting, I wanted her so badly. I remember my mom went to Target one day to check for me, and she told me she found one with blue hair, and I was freaking out. I was so excited. And then she comes home, and it's a mini of Rosy Bumps and Bruises. And not Mittens. The minis were so cute. This one was one of my first minis of Mittens. And I remember wanting her basic doll, like the big one, so badly, but she was pretty hard to get. Like, these dolls actually had a resale value that was somewhat high on eBay back in the day. So I ended up getting this relaunch that came out airing with the Nick Jr. show that I used to love. The Nick Jr. show was adorable. And when I finally got this doll, I actually broke down in tears. I was so happy, I was crying. Oh, I still remember it like it was yesterday. I went to Toys R Us looking for them. We didn't find them. I was with my grandma. My grandma doesn't speak English very well, so I had to be like the translator, as I usually do. And she goes in, we're like, oh, we're looking for this doll. We're looking for this Lalaloopsy doll. And they're like, oh, we don't have her in the store, but we have her online. So my grandma is like, oh, we'll order her for you. And I was like, oh my god, seriously? My foot is asleep. Can my foot please wake up? This is so uncomfortable. God. Sorry. Shit. I just dropped my camera. Anyway, I was crying, screaming, throwing up, and my grandma orders the doll for me. That's why I was crying and screaming, because my grandma was being so kind and she ordered the doll for me. And then she came in the mail. I got this box, and I have never been so happy in my entire life. Like, I think the only other time I've ever been this happy was probably a few times. A few times, actually. But, oh my god. Best day of my life, deadass. I still have her. I love her. She's my favorite character from the whole franchise. Lalaloopsy also had various collector dolls, including Ivory Ice Crystals, who was one of my all-time favorites. In my head, she was a main character. She was the main character, actually. Like, her and Mittens were best friends. They were main characters. They hung out all the time. They were best friends, maybe lovers, who knows. And then there was little plushies, and there was even a baby spinoff. And these babies were so cute. They're like, they have soft bodies, as you can tell. And their, like, little pets are actually their baby bottles. Like, god, these were adorable. I had all 4 of them. I think I still do. They're all in a trunk in the loft. I could go access these whenever I want. But, like, these 4 were the first ones. And they were so cute. They were so huggable. And they had, like, little soft hats. They were so cute. I do wish that they were, like, entirely plush, kind of like these little plushies were. This was all I had of Mittens before. Oh, and, yeah, they actually did have to change something about Mittens. There was something a bit problematic about my queen. It's what she's made of. The E word is considered a slur. So, you know, they had to remove that. I believe they changed it to be a cuddly scarf on her reissues, like these ones, because they did reissue her in this sort of packaging for the 10th anniversary. Just feel the need to address that. Yeah, so they did change it. And overall, Lalaloopsy, I just really loved this line growing up. Mittens is my queen, as usual, as expected. I love her. Ivory, one of my all-time favorites. There were so many dolls that I loved. I don't even know if I can show them all, because there's so many. I guess I could try to look up the ones I remember. So these are some of my other favorites. This one is Yuki Kimono. She is meant to look like a geisha, I believe. I think. I don't know. But I always loved this one when she came out. Why are my dogs barking? I loved Marina Anchors as well. I actually found this one at the flea market like a year ago, and I did buy her because, you know, I had to. Nostalgia! I love her so much. And there's Scrap Stitched and Sewn. Oh my god, I wish I got this one. I don't know why I didn't. I was dumb when I was younger, and I think the reason I ended up not ever getting her, which is this is gonna sound so stupid, was because my friend already had her. So I was like, oh, I don't need her, my friend has her. What kind of dumb child logic is that? I'm stupid, and I wish I had this doll. And there was also Suzette LaSuite. She was one of the first collector Lalaloopsies they made, and my god, she was so great. And I can't forget my girl Toffee Coco Cuddles. She is so cute. She's got heart-shaped cheeks. She has brown buttons for eyes. Those are like 2 unique traits. She was so cool. I absolutely adored her. Another one that I loved, but I forgot to look up pictures of, was Mango Tiki Wiki. She was adorable. She had green button eyes. These dolls were just amazing. They really ran my life for a long time, and I miss collecting them. But, you know, I just don't really have the space for them anymore. I have another big-headed doll that I collect, actually. They're kind of underrated. Maybe I should talk about those in here, too. But yeah, Lalaloopsy ran my life for a long time, and I think the only reason I stopped collecting was, again, because of Monster High. Monster High really had me in a chokehold, so yeah. But yeah, Lalaloopsy was amazing, big part of my childhood, and I still really like them all to this day. Okay, so I know I've only talked about 3 things in this video, but this video is already 20 minutes long, so I'm gonna make a part 2. I'll make a part 2 where I talk about the other doll lines I wanted to. But yeah, for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it ran so long, and yeah, I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!